Hey guys, really nice sunny morning this morning, and I want to talk about why uh, your business, or you could also talk about your creator platform on social media or your life, why it arises from the inner work or the meditation work or the spiritual work that you do. So, to put it concisely, your business, your aligned business that feels so good, that serves people deeply, that benefits the world, it arises from your rootedness. It arises from how centered you are, how at peace you are, how at home you are with yourself, how energetically sound you are within. And I want to talk about why. And I don't know if this is a podcast episode. I'm thinking about my social media strategy a little bit. I had been doing the once a week podcast. Now I'm like, dang, I'm kind of like producing stuff every day again, and I'm noticing that I'm going on a tangent here. Whatever. I'm noticing that like if I let's say I wake up this morning, I post on Instagram, I post on TikTok, I post on YouTube, I post a newsletter. It's all the same thing. It's all the same insight that wants to come out. So I posted on Instagram this morning, and in the caption, I was like, oh, that's a newsletter. And then I posted that on Substack. And I was like, oh, why don't I ramble it out on YouTube? Here's a YouTube video. And then I might as well post it on the podcast platforms too. I don't know. Is that overkill? Whatever. So here's the thing, guys. Okay, I'll just tell you the story. And if you want to read it really concisely, it's in the description. The whole essence of what I'm going to say is really concisely written in the description. But here's the thing. So our conditioning will have us believe that we need to grit and grind in order to succeed. Or we need to perform, we need to like be someone else. We need to work really hard, hustle, grind. And that's exactly what I did when I built this YouTube channel that you're watching. Now, what's really interesting about this, and I'm actually going to close the shade because it's a little bit intense. What's really interesting about this is building a YouTube channel as a career is non-conventional. It's non-conventional, and I was actually trying to escape the need to get a 9-to-5 job, which based on my conditioning, what I heard about 9-to-5s was the most miserable thing I could possibly imagine. So I wanted to escape that at all costs. So that's why I started my YouTube channel, and I started posting skate videos. My hair is really messy here. That's okay. Right, so I was actually trying to break free. I was trying to break free from the cage by creating that YouTube channel, but I hadn't fully, my mindset hadn't evolved to the point where it's evolved to now. So I was still making a really fundamental mistake in my mind. And the mistake was that I thought I had to perform. I thought I had to be this influencer. I thought I had to be someone else. I thought I had to hack the algorithms, get lots of views. I thought I had to do all these things, right? So I grinded my butt away to make that YouTube channel happen, all because I wanted to escape corporate life. But I was still building it on the back of grit and grind, and I was not being totally authentic. Now, it's really, really, really hard to be totally authentic. Like where I've gotten to now, where I'm able to messy hair, mess up the intro, messy shot in the back, just talk how I'm talking. I even get self-conscious about how I breathe. Sometimes I lose my breath because I'm really excited to share this with you, but I don't even care. This level of authenticity, not easy. Not easy. It took let me go back to the story. So I've succeeded. I built that influencer business off of the grit and grind and the hustle. I remember editing constantly, editing my videos because they needed to be perfect. I would edit them all week. It took me like 20 hours to edit each video. So I was not really sleeping. I was grinding. I was go, 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 nonstop, hustle. Could never miss a video. What's interesting about now is I'm posting way more videos and it's way easier, and it's not even, there's, burnout is not even possible because it's just coming from authenticity. But I was basically, in my mind, I was like, oh, here's who I have to be. Here's what I have to do to succeed as a YouTuber. So I was kind of putting all that effort into being that person. Okay, and that succeeded with big air quotes. That succeeded. I did make a full-time income on that. But I was still making that fundamental mistake. Okay? That fundamental mistake. There's actually two mistakes. One is that I thought succeeding on YouTube would bring me happiness. I thought, oh, if I escape this corporate job, if I just get this thing, if I just get these many subscribers, if I just get a full-time income off YouTube, these external things, right? I thought once I achieved these, then I had it. Then I had happiness in my hand. That was one mistake. The other mistake was, oh, in order to achieve this happiness, I have to perform and be someone else, and I have to grit and grind. So two fundamental mistakes. Once I grabbed that success, those subscribers, that full-time income, it didn't take long for the happiness to wear off. I actually, when I ended up doing my Buddhist meditation teacher training, I did my final presentation about this story. This is the story that sent me inwards, that sent me into meditation, because everything that I was taught about how the world works broke. Like, when YouTube did not fulfill my desire for everlasting happiness, I was deeply confused. Because not only did because I was told that the corporate thing and getting all that money that way would lead to happiness, right? House, married, etc. But I had the intuition to be like, no, I'm gonna go my own way. I'm gonna start the YouTube channel. And I succeeded at that. And I thought for sure that would bring me everlasting happiness, but of course it didn't, because nothing outside of you can bring you happiness in that way. So that sent me deep into meditation. Okay, so then I had my spiritual journey. This started around 2020, around COVID time. Started meditating. I started really seeking within, and so I started to shed these limiting beliefs. I started to shed the story that you have to be anyone else. I questioned everything, every belief that had been planted in my head. I started taking a look at it, investigating, unraveling. I also started just acting and expressing in more freedom. I started to break the molds I was in, etc., etc. Fast forward, I ended up doing the meditation teacher training to go a little bit deeper. Like I was finding something so beautiful within me, and I needed more of an understanding of what this was and if it was real. And since my internal experience was so beautiful and exquisite through this meditation and inward searching, I wanted to learn how to show it to others, because I had really begun to overcome something that had caused me deep suffering during that skate YouTube channel phase, which was this performance and this inability to let go and this inability to be myself. And I started to find real creative freedom through meditation, real courage to be my authentic self. Like I was saying earlier, it's very difficult. It's not easy necessarily because of all the conditioning we have in our mind. But through meditation, I started to have the courage to express myself more freely. It was so beautiful that naturally I just wanted to start sharing it with the world. So I started my podcast, started sharing the spiritual journey, sharing the creative freedom journey. Okay, and that kind of expression was so aligned and so authentic that it was so easy. It would just pour out of me every week on the podcast, just like this expression is pouring out of me now. It's just so passionate. It's so aligned. It's something I so deeply want to share with people that it just pours on out of me. Okay, so easy, not even close to the type of misalignment and burnout I felt when I was grit and grinding and being an influencer. I really notice now, like if I look back at my old videos, like there's this tension and holding in my face, and I'm putting on this voice, and it's really uncomfortable and cringe to look back on and see now. Of course, I was in the conditioning. I was in that experience. I didn't know what was going on, but now, if you compare my videos now, it's just like my body is relaxed. There's no tension. Same with when I host my community calls and I work with clients. There's no tension. There's no holding. There's no fake voice. There's no performance. Nothing fake at all. So it's been quite the transition. I got a little lost there, but okay. So through that authentic expression, I naturally ended up in the meditation teacher training. Right? It's actually the authentic expression and sharing my spiritual journey online that led to friendships and relationships that were more spiritually based. And then through word of mouth, I ended up hearing about the meditation teacher training. So, right, things started to naturally emerge and change in my life. And then all of this centeredness and inner rootedness and this trust and this belief that what I was experiencing was really, really beneficial to people. This led me to step into guidance and mentorship, right? So I started helping people with their spiritual journeys. I think when I first started, I was doing $25 one-on-one calls, okay? But that's besides the point. The point is that, like, through my centeredness and rootedness, I started to create a business that really required no effort. Like, there was no hard work. There was no difficult grunt work. I was doing a ton of this flowing expression, creating content, writing all the copy on my website and listing the different offerings and brainstorming and solving problems and all of these things, right? And this has since evolved a tremendous amount from those $25 calls, but those were the humble beginnings. And do you feel this? Like, do you feel what I'm saying? Like, the difference between the performative influencer business model that I did when I was making these mistakes in my mind versus this really service-based, really from within, from love, wanting to help others, totally night and day comparing these two businesses. The first one, the former, was a grit and grind, led to continual burnout, continual emotional tension, a lot of dread, really ended up a lot of soul pain when it was time to go film those videos because I didn't want to perform anymore. It became so misaligned. And then fast forward to now, it's like this business is easy to show up for. It's all flowing. The expression's pouring out of me. I'm in my natural gifts. It's like easy and effortless in a way to help people and bring them to the next level on their spiritual and creative path. It is truly, truly night and day. So that's what I mean by your business, your aligned business, your soul business, what you're really meant to do in this world. And I don't think for everybody necessarily it will look like a business. Maybe a better thing to say would be your purpose, but it very well could be a business that emerges. But when you're acting in authenticity, like the opportunities are magnetized to you and it will be obvious to you what your path is. But maybe I could say your path arises from your rootedness. That would be a good one. Anyways, then last year, this idea that I'm sharing with you that your business arises from your rootedness, last year I got like clear confirmation on that because I fell off of all my spiritual practice. Fear and doubt took over. I fell off of the sobriety I had been keeping. I stopped meditating. I sort of dropped my discipline, and I dropped my spiritual practice, just to sum it up. And I lost my center. And then if I think about what kind of business I was building, where I was like hosting a community, deeply supporting clients, that kind of business it was birthed from this centeredness. So to hold all those clients and those community members, I had to really be solid within myself. And I let that slip. For whatever reason, I let that slip, and I watched how I lost the ability to hold that space for people. So now that I've been through this cycle, I've gained a lot of wisdom from that experience. Now I'm like, oh, okay, I see. The aligned business is literally rooted from your center. It's rooted from within. The most important thing to do is to meditate, basically. Like, you've got to be locked in. You've got to be centered, aligned. Your energy's got to be sorted out. That is the most important thing. It's not about putting the right words on your website. It's not about creating 100 pieces of content. All of that is secondary to your inner alignment, because when the inner alignment and the centeredness is there, everything else follows. It's all very natural. You wake up every day and you just kind of know what you have to do, and you have that space to hold those clients and community members, or whatever your particular thing will look like. Right? So that's the most important thing you could do is maintain your center, right? And, I've got a whole host of practices that I use to maintain my center. Sometimes something that I just put together, clients will get this for free, but I'm also putting it up on my web store, is what I'm calling Foundations for Creative Freedom. So these are the practices that I do every day, every week, every month, every year, to keep myself centered and rooted. So this involves spiritual practices like meditation, as well as creative expression practice. Like, everything that I see is important for me being solid within. I put it in this document, and I'm selling access to that on my website if you want to check that out. Of course, I also do the freedom calls. I'm testing calling them freedom calls instead of creative freedom calls. That's just been kind of slipping off the tongue nicely. So I do freedom calls every week. These are completely free. And I also offer mentorship if you're interested. All of that info is in the description. But what I really want to leave you with is focus on cultivating your center. Even if you're not at the point where that business or that life purpose is arising yet, the most important thing you can do is do that inner work. Find peace, find stillness, investigate all of your conditioning, investigate what you've been taught, really crack into those stories, really, learn to sit through, feel discomfort, feel triggers, let them move through you, have compassion with yourself, try to be less reactive to things. Notice when fear is coming up, and use that meditation, that centeredness, to try to make intentional decisions when there is fear and doubt. Like, see if that's coming from your conditioning. All of this is all stuff we'll continue to talk about over time. But that's it for this video. I thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Oops.